Alright folks, my name is Tim and we're out here on the west coast of Canada, Vancouver Island in Victoria, British Columbia. And today I'm going to be tackling building the 21 CNC Millennium Falcon model. So right now I've got, I'm just finishing off a grenade spoon that my dog had chewed off, but this is the machine I use, which is an IKEA K1 Max Pro, I think it is, with 48 watts and switchable to 24 watts. And very nice machine that I just got to replace an Elegoo Fecta 20 watter that I had for a year. And this thing is a heavy hitter, so I'm really liking this machine. And got my little laptop over there. So we're gonna flip. And over here in this box, I've got all the parts for the Millennium Falcon cut out. And what I've done is I've basically masking taped all the pieces together so that the parts don't fall out, so I can read the numbers and go by the instructions, and we'll build that on my tabletop inside. Even though it's the west coast of Canada, we've got lots of green grass and everything, but it's pouring rain as usual for this time of year. We're sort of akin to Seattle weather and Vancouver weather. And so yeah, we'll spend an afternoon hopefully building this thing. I cut it out of MDF first just to trial it. MDF is a lot cheaper than the birch that I buy, so if it proves to be a really good build, then I may do it in birch and make it a wonderful stained version of this. But I always like to do things, especially big projects like this, in MDF, just to make sure everything fits properly. And yeah, my garage is a mess right now. My son's a carpenter, so he uses it as a workshop on weekends and doing side jobs and stuff. So sorry for the mess, but other than that, we're all set up. I've got a little heater here just to keep the chill off of my workspace. And my other hobby, of course, is restoring vintage audio. I rebuild the guts of these machines, and the reason I actually got the laser was to do face plates and stuff. Like this is a faux wood plate. I was planning on doing some wood, and then of course the laser machine took me in a different direction. So now we're gonna build a Millennium Falcon, and I think I did a TIE fighter, and it was actually popular with the craft fairs I was doing before Christmas. I sold a couple of them, but this might be my keeper, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get on with the production here. Well, hello. You saw my preamble, which was in my garage, aka workshop. It's usually my spring, summer, and fall place. In the winter, when it gets a little cool out there, I like to move down here into my little office slash workspace, just to get out of the weather and the cold. So today, now that we're end of December, just about New Year's, in 2 days we're going to be springing in 2025. So what I've got here is the Millennium Falcon. They spelt Falcon wrong. That's obviously with a C, but it's a European or Russian, or I'm not sure where they're from. Anyway, I bought the plans from Etsy, and it was inexpensive considering what all the work that goes into making these instructions. And it's made by 21 CNC Studio, who have a lot of really cool products out there. So I would urge you to go to their website. I think it's 21cncstudio.com. Don't quote me. I believe that's what it is. Anyway, you can always Google it. What we're going to do is tackle building a Millennium Falcon. And as I showed out in the garage, we've got I've got a box full of stuff which is down below here out of sight of the camera. And we're going to go through the instructions here, piece by piece. And I'm going to hopefully build it right here. It will be a long video probably. So instead of boring you to tears with my hemming and hawing and harumphing while I build it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on hyperlapse on the camera just so it speeds by relatively quickly. The instruction set that comes with it, it's like doing paint by numbers, basically, hopefully. And so we'll get through that. And anytime that I run into something that's complex that needs an explanation, I'll break out into video again. So you may see some jogging back and forth between hyperlapse or time-lapse photography, and me doing some commentary. So hopefully this will go by fairly quickly, given that, and we'll see how nice of a model this thing builds. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So right off the bat, I'm looking at the instructions, and they are detailed, but there's not as many instructions as I thought. You just have a lot of blow-up diagrams. So I'm going to start top right here down to the bottom left. That's the first page after the explanation of sizing and all that kind of stuff. And right away I noticed that once I start taking these boards apart, there's going to be lots of pieces. So what I'm going to do is use a masking tape. And when I take it off the actual cut board, they didn't put the numbers on the pieces, they put them on the cut board. So you kind of need the cut board to figure out what number is what. So to make it easier, what I've done is I've taken the pieces off the cut board, and I'm just going to use masking tape, which is easy to peel off, with the numbers on it as I pull it off the cut board. And that way I can figure out what numbers go where. And so it's starting with the bottom piece. You can see here it says bottom, and I'm orienting it the same way. So this little guy right here is sort of on this side, your left, I guess, to coincide with the drawing, and then I'll apply all the boards or the pieces as we go around. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to basically number all of these things, and then as I apply them, then I'll take the numbering off, and that way there won't be any confusion as putting wrong parts in certain places. So that's what I'm going to do. You'll see it as I'm progressing along here. All right, I just completed the first sheet that I cut out. My sheets may differ from the model just because I had some bigger pieces and I consolidated a bit. I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets are the same, but the first one was a lot bigger. I consolidated 2 sheets onto it. Anyway, what I did notice was They have no orientation for numbers 6 through 5, 6, actually 5 all the way around the corner to 28. And that's all of these side pieces. And you have to play with orientation. They're not, you would think that if it was the bottom on the sheet, it would be the bottom on here, but that's not the case. Some of them you have to invert because you need to have them line up properly. So you have to kind of go by guess and by golly to get everything properly lined up, and some you'll have to, invert. So it would have been nice if the model makers would have told you or had like a side view picture that comes in the schematics. Probably does later on, but it's early on when you're putting these things on, you don't see it. Yeah, it doesn't have a configuration like imagery to show you how those are all properly oriented. Most people, unless you're a Star Wars guru, probably wouldn't know anyway. But nevertheless, it's probably some of them are a little bit out from the way that it was oriented on the cut sheet. So that being said, it all came together nicely, and I had to go and run and get a mallet. You don't want to hit it hard because this is MDF and it crumbles, but you just want to tap it so that you can get all of the the little tabs into the slots and everything. So that worked out pretty nicely. And now I'm working on the second sheet here, or the second drawing here. So I did this one. That's the bottom piece and all of these verticals. And then I popped the top piece on. It doesn't tell you to do that. I'm just guessing that that's what you have, because in the next diagram here, it shows that both the top and the bottom are on. So I would assume you put the top piece on, which is what I've done. And now we're going to apply all of these ones. So I'll go to the lowest number, which is 39, 38. Well, there's a 2 and a 2 and a 3, but to go around the horn, you want to go 35, 36, 37, 38, and then go all the way around the model. 2 and 3 are on the top, 30 and 31 are on the bottom. So this next sheet has basically the 33, I think, is the lowest number, and it goes up to kind of 56. I think you'll find that a couple of sheets you have to combine them. The next sheet here also has ones for this part here, so you just gotta watch the numbering. And in this case, I'm not gonna go through the nose of writing a number on each. I'm just going to keep this piece flat, and I'm going to use a set of tweezers, pointy nose tweezers, to pull the pieces out as I need them. So we'll start at probably 36 and 35 here, and go from there. All right, I guess the last video sequence, I just put three pieces on since the last explanation. I meant to go to hyperlapse, but I guess I didn't push record. Anyway, I'm going to switch to CA glue on a lot of these pieces. You'll see me use wood glue. It's more structural. This is because I don't want to get into a big mess. And I'm going to put all of these pieces in, and then I'm going to go in and just, because they're a really tight fit, and all you need to do is really hold it in place. So I'm going to just hit the edges, and a lot of this is going to be covered by other plates that go on in the next sequences from what I've read ahead or looked ahead on the plans for. So we're going to use a little bit of CA glue just to speed up the process. All right, some more comments. I just had supper, so I took a little bit of a time out. This is a long build, and not really crazy about the drawings. They actually suck, but you can use the photos that came with the Etsy ad. You can download those photos and use them as a little bit more of a guide than what you get actually in the drawings. So the other thing is the numbering system for the unless you have the template, you can easily lose track of numbers. So it'd be nice if they realizing some of the skin pieces you don't want to have numbers sticking on them, but there should be a better way of doing the numbering thing, I think, because there's a lot of pieces and trying to figure out what's what, and this cage thing here is not a simple integration, I found. But anyway, we're plugging through, and the other thing is the underneath part is backwards in the drawing, so it's you got to sort of reverse your thought processes in the order in which these panels go on. So back to time lapse. All right, I'm as complete as I can get it, and I'll tell you this was a challenge, a big challenge, because some of the parts didn't fit quite as well as I thought they would and should. For instance, the forward cockpit area here, or viewing area, is kind of a buckshy thing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make one of these in balsa, or not balsa, birch, and I think the cuts will be a little more tolerant, as this one's made out of MDF, and MDF is quite fragile and is subject to crushing and all that kind of stuff. I think the birch is going to be a lot more rigid to work with and better. But for a first crack at it, I gotta say, I'm gonna flip I gotta say that I'm pretty impressed with what I did. It took me a full day almost to cut it out and to build this. I would say 2 days if you're doing the cutting and building. But you can see it's probably going to fall off the stand here right now. I don't have it glued on, nor do I plan on gluing it on, but you can see the detail on the bottom. It's pretty cool, on the back end and the sides. And some of the orientation of these side panels, now that I've got the photos, I can actually zoom in and get that better. But you got to almost, they should include a whole bunch of photos of various angles in the actual files that you download. I had to actually go back to the Etsy site and screen capture all the um, photos from the advertising for this model. I would say it's an advanced model. I wouldn't say this is a beginner's level model, just because of the complexity of the drawings and the fine tolerances of the pieces and everything. And I think the next crack at it, I'm going to do a really nice job of staining and all that sort of stuff. Even though, like with all the graphics that they've embedded on this, you can see that they've done a really good job, and you almost don't need the staining. But can you imagine with a wood grain on this and a nice stain? I think it would just pop. So I may do another round two. Won't be for a while yet because I've got other projects on the go. But when I get time, I'll do a much better job and take a little longer to do it, just because I want to make that one look a lot nicer. So I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Like I say, they could do a little bit more in the documentation, and I like freelaserfiles.com. They when you build their models, they actually have a video of showing it step by step installation and how to put it together. I would suggest something like that for this 21 CNC studio kind of job if they want to get really serious about it. Just show people exactly how to put these things together, and I think you'll get a lot more business. Anyway, I would highly recommend this model, and it's not for the faint of heart, but I think if you have perseverance and you take care. I did this really fast, so it's some of the pieces aren't fitting exactly as they should, and like I say, it's very confusing with these their numbering system, because as soon as you take the piece off the board, you have no idea what the number is, and the drawings are so poor you can't sometimes differentiate from the angles what part you actually have and what needs to go where. For the most part, you can sort of go by photos, but I think they can do a little bit better with um, the cutouts and numbering system. Like all the interior things, you can keep the numbers on the pieces because they get covered over. But external ones are pretty self-evident because then you can go by the photographs to figure out where they go. So that's my sort of take on it. I think it's and it's big. I mean, look at the size of my hand, and I'm not a small fella. And yeah, it's a very hefty model and fun to put together. So, thanks for watching. I'll have some individual photos here of it on my site pretty soon. Thanks for watching.